Hello.
Yeah, that's your name.
Squirrels got me.
Big Jim.
Yeah.
Really cold and fun.
Cold and fun.
Cold and fun.
That's good that you think that of it, because that's what deer hunting typically is cold and fun.
Yesterday morning, I'm glassing up on the pass and I see these deer moving. And I'm like, ooh, there's some deer moving. All of a sudden, I just see this person just head down, just hauling ass, wearing shorts and a t-shirt with a pack on. And I'm like, is that Tard? My dad always talks about floating through the woods like the autumn breeze.
So Robert's
When you're
the
275 pounds, I don't know how you do that, but
The Freightliner. It's just like a creeper. You're just kind of up in the corner watching what's going on down there.
yeah.
You know,
He's like,
he's up there slapping it, pissing all over everything.
is it warm yet?
How did you know the name of the actor?
I know.
How did you say his name?
Hervé Villechaize. Remember this?
You know what pert near means.
If you know what pert near means and you live in America, you're a redneck too.
Welcome to the Log Talk Podcast, brought to you by Pert Near Outdoors.
It's that time of year. It's that time of year where we all need to be thinking about, do we have everything we need to hit the woods? Chances are you don't, and if you think you do, you probably could use some more. So how about you go over to thehuntworks.com and check out all the incredible products these guys are carrying. This is a great family, local store. Dan and Steve Dunnigan, a couple hardworking sumbitches. They are now carrying archery equipment, everything from bows to arrows to broadheads, quivers, you name it. So on top of all the great tree stands and box blinds that they're carrying, they're now a full-on archery dealer, and really recommend that you check these guys out for your next big purchase. Head over to thehuntworks.com to see what they've got for sale, or if you're local in the Rochester area, head on over to their store in East Rochester on Dispatch Drive and check them out. They are on social media, The Huntworks, and also online, like I said. And if you purchase anything online, you can use promo code FEEDIN'Em to get 5% off. And that's FEED, FEEDIN, INUM, 5% off. Feed 'em. Iago. Tomato.
What are we, 208?
Huh?
Episode 208 or
I
not?
don't know. It's your show.
It's your show. I'm just subbing.
I wonder sometimes. 'Cause
Episode 208, Pert Near Outdoors Log Talk, live from Naples Camp.
what are you doing?
We're podcasting.
I thought I was the host.
Oh, take her away, Willie.
No, it's yours.
No.
No, you like to talk a lot on here, so I figure I'll just let you do a lot of the talking. I'll just give some color.
No.
You're
I
like
want you to talk.
you're like John Murphy, and I'm Mark Kelso.
So, Jimmy D'Agostino and Jeremy said on Antler up there, like, Jimmy says, I don't think Billy podcasts anymore. His father took it over. But he did say I was doing a great job.
Well, he has to say that because he
Of
wants
course,
to
he's
use
like,
you for
"That's
the
all right."
camp and for
Did I tell you he's coming up?
I know.
got him and Tim.
him and I talked.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So he's like another son to me. We're very close.
Yeah, he's not sleeping in my bed this year. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, he is.
I'll be hiding acorns and shit in there if he's pulling that off.
I told
It's crap.
Tim sleeps in Jimmy's bed. They're my quasi sons during archery up here when you guys are
Yeah.
chasing the big bucks in Little Iowa.
I told him if I'm not tagged out, I'll be here, and if I am tagged out, then I will.
You could still be here.
I'll be here with Billy again. We're
Nice.
getting to the point now where we can do that. So
Well,
things are good.
Billy and I are sitting out at the fire pit at camp, which Billy just said, and it was a good point that we never do this
Ever.
ever.
I think we've had a
during
couple bonfires ever.
I think during COVID you guys did it. Remember that?
Yeah, because
We couldn't sit inside.
all our wives were psychopaths.
Yeah,
and
they're like, you can go up, but you got to stay outside. You slept
Yeah.
in the tent out behind the cabin.
don't kill all the elderly people at camp. So what we were good boys, and
Yeah, you were.
we followed directions of our wives, which
Yeah.
was now we know a ridiculous thing, but hey, we did it. It was a beautiful cold night. We sat out here and had a fire.
Yeah, I think
But
you killed
I-
2 deer that.
I
that
killed 2
opening
deer
day.
because I was scared that I had to provide fend for my family.
Yeah, and-
Provide them meats.
And you, well, with the COVID and the stores
Yeah, I
shutting
mean,
down
just,
and
Bidenomics and everything. I had to
So then you and you were late coming back, and you had to get out of here and go. 'Cause I remember you calling me, going, "Dad, can you do me a huge favor and
Pack my tent up."
Pack up my tent. I'm like, son of a bitch! I knew I was going to get rolled into this.
I don't remember. I
You
don't
remember
remember
that?
exactly why I went home that night. I think it was. I mean, obviously, I shot my buck and I shot a doe. So
yeah,
I
you
was,
shot a buck and a doe. You shot two.
But I don't remember exactly what.
yeah,
Whether
but you had to
she
leave.
wanted me home or what.
There was a wedding or something.
She's got
probably.
power.
No, there was no wedding.
No, there was no wedding. She's got power over me. I can't control.
I know. You're only human, Billy. It's
I
all
know.
perfectly natural.
It is.
You know, it's just like one day at band camp.
She has what I want, and I, what am I supposed
Yeah.
to do about that? I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna, just
Give in to it, Willie.
yeah.
So, hey, what about this? What are we today? September 14th, I believe.
I think so.
Opening day doe and 8N. And there's a few wildlife management areas that have doe only season running the 14th through the 22nd. So we got the warmest week we've had in September. We had some nice cold weather
I
there.
know.
at the end
Last
of-
week would have been awesome for this because it was in the 50s and
83 up here today.
yeah, it was
and,
hot.
And the deer, I think the deer just don't move quite as much. But, we didn't hunt that hard. I didn't hunt at all. I'm going to hunt during the week probably. But
Yeah, if you want to get out a couple
Yeah.
times, you can just go out.
just having Bill Dan here.
I
And
almost feel like
AJ's boy, Jacob, he was here. And I spent my time here shooting. They were shooting a pellet gun, and I was like overseeing that. And
That was cool.
they had a blast. While you went down and got stuff for s'mores, but
yeah, this is
very nice. It warms my heart to see the next generation, up here.
Yeah,
Last year, I remember when Bill Dan come up and spent the night one night, and it was just like, God, I wish my dad was here to see that.
yeah.
But
No, it's special to be able to get the kids up here and, looking ahead to this weekend, Jimmy and I and you were talking and like, it's funny how you get like, I was all gung ho, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
we're
like, I'm
gonna
gonna
get up here,
shoot a doe.
we're gonna whack a doe and get the kids up here and we're gonna hunt. And it's like, we got closer to the weekend and I'm like, you know what? And then, it occurred to me that AJ's in Colorado right now hunting elk with Tard. So, Jacob, Rachel's at home with the 3 kids. And so I said yesterday, I'm like, Jake, do you want to come up to camp with us? And he typically doesn't, they're both sound asleep now, so hopefully the night goes well. But, that's the biggest challenge, I guess, with the kids is, with
Right.
ours too, is just getting them asleep.
yeah,
Once they're asleep, they're good. But, I'm like, you know what? This needs to be about the kids and not about
Yep.
going on
100%.
some deer hunt,
If they said, like I told you earlier, if they said, Dad, can you take us hunting? Then fine, go
Which
hunting.
they did so we got up here and really had zero. We were going to bring 4-wheelers. You have your own 4-wheelers. We were going to bring Billy's. And I was like, I don't feel like dragging my trailer all the way
Yeah.
here and getting 14 miles a gallon. I'm like, let's just get up there and just
exactly
do whatever the boys want to do. So they
Yeah.
got their freaking wooden guns and they're running around in the yard.
Oh, they're crawling in the yard. They picked up rocks. They were using rocks as
Rocks as
two-way
two-way
radios.
radios, like,
oh
just
my God.
phenomenal.
Crawling through the grass.
Yeah. But when shortly after we got here, we came up to the cabin, then we took a walk down and got a 4-wheeler and came back up. And, I'm sitting on the deck and the two of them are playing. And then, they both came over like, well, when are we going squirrel hunting? I was like, we can go squirrel hunting right now if you want. Okay. So we pile on the 4-wheeler and go up the hill and get around the point. So we were where there's a lot of oaks and stuff.
Yeah.
But we went over there and we only hunted for 10 minutes. We sat on a log for 10 minutes. Billy caught a frog.
Yeah.
Was all upset not upset, but he was like, where am I going to put it? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, your critter cage we brought it. I'm like, it's a little net thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's back at the cabin. He's like, well, that's too far. I'm like, well, yeah, it is too far.
Did he put it in his pocket?
Well, he wanted to put it in his cargo pocket. I'm like, you can't put a frog in your cargo pocket. He's like, well, I'll leave the top open. I'm like, well, Bill, you're going to crush it,
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like, what do we do? And I'm like, well, I got my Nalgene bottle that's like almost full of water. And, 32 ounce
I seen the
Nalgene.
Nalgene bottle over
Yeah,
there
and it's
with
got
leaves
like
in it.
leaves and shit in it. So I'm like, put it in my Nalgene, but I go, I'm not dumping this water out. This is good water. I go, I'm gonna chug it. And they're sitting there going, chug, 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 chug. And I'm sitting there on the side of the logging road. We're sitting in the dirt, just sitting there. I'm chugging water. It's hilarious, but whatever. this is a great day.
Yeah.
Just the kids just had a blast. There's zero TV, zero cell phones.
Yeah.
And they're just out here freaking crawling around in the dirt. It just makes me
It was
happy.
so funny. And then they were taking turns with a pellet gun.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out how to work that little BB gun thing you got. I didn't realize they had a pump thing on it. But so I got out my pellet gun, was letting them shoot that, you know.
Yeah.
So funny because then I brought what are they, Cheetos, crunchy Cheetos, because I know Bill Dan loves them. Well, apparently Jacob does too. So they had to have the Cheetos. So they run and get Cheetos. Their fingers are all
covered in cheese.
Covered in Cheetos, and they're shooting my gun. I got like Cheeto fingerprints all over my gun. But they had a blast. Yeah. They shot and they actually, you know, I mean, the gun doesn't fit them, right? It's way too long,
huge,
but they had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, you were talking about putting a frog in your cargo pocket, and it made me think of Uncle Al.
Oh.
He stopped by the house, I don't know, a week or two ago, and he goes, "You're never gonna guess what's in my pocket." He's I wasn't there. I was getting eggs from Uncle Tim, and so your mom called me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just leaving Tim's. I'll be there in like 5 minutes." Al was there to get something from me, so I get there, and there's a little like Tupperware dish on our kitchen table. Al and Mom are sitting there at the kitchen table visiting, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And Paula's like, "He had that in his pocket." And it's a snapping turtle. And he came in, he sat down, and he goes to Paula, he goes, "You ever see a snapping turtle up close?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "I'll show you one." She goes, he reaches in his pocket and pulls out this snapping turtle, little guy, you know. But he's like, "Look at that." And Paula's like, she goes, I scream. I'm like, "Jesus, put that thing, well, dude, put it somewhere, but not back in your pocket." But so Al's like, he's found it on the golf course. You know, he's a starter up there at Wildwood.
Yeah.
So he's seen the thing out on the fairway, so he picked it up and put it in his pocket.
What's a starter? The starter just chills there and tells people when to go?
Yeah. And just supervises it. And then he gets, the golf for, I don't know,
sure,
it's free or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
You know Al.
I'm sure he's got some sort of a deal.
He's like the mayor up there. He knows everybody. Yeah. So anyways, Al. So then he puts it back in his pocket after I got there because he got what he needed from me, and then he was heading home and takes his snapping turtle out of the Tupperware dish and puts it back in his pocket. He was like, "I got to take this guy with me because I want to show this to Martha." Paula's like, "Don't ride all the way home with him in your pocket." So Al gets in the truck, takes him out of his pocket, and puts him in the cup holder.
Oh my God!
But I just got the biggest kick out of that when you were saying it's like Al's. Big Al's an old country soul, you know. He just like thinks nothing.
Which is funny because listening to him on the podcast with you, there's so much about him that I never knew. Like I had no idea.
Yeah.
You know, obviously been around him my entire life, and but it's like was always sports with Al.
Yeah.
So I just never knew.
Yeah, it was always the sports
his
guy,
outdoors back, and it's funny too how much you guys, you know, your fathers were good friends. But it's just it's funny the connection, but you guys live different lives during your professional career and raising the kids in different towns, neighboring towns, but just, you know, it's just.
And we always we'd see each other at you know how it was at holidays, and we'd talk hunting a little, but we weren't like we weren't close, and now we're like best friends, you know.
Yeah.
Now we're retired, and
it's good to see.
He told me, he goes, you know, we both have talked about it, and he was telling Aunt Lucille, I introduced him to Aunt Lucille Lefebvre, and I go, "Do you know Alan Mack?" She goes, "No." She goes, "Is he part of the Mack family from Rush?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, they're famous. Everybody knows the Macks." I'm like, "Well, this is Alan, my brother-in-law." And but Alan told her, he said, "We've been married to sisters for 40 years, and we always got along fine, but we never did nothing together. And now we're both retired." And he goes, "We're like best friends. We do stuff together all the time. We're always together." So and the outdoors is a connection there that.
Yeah, that's 100%. That's what the connection is.
You know, I mean, we still we help each other with different. He's been up here helping me, and those telephone poles set here in the backyard. He's the one that helped me set them. We almost flipped the Kubota off, setting that one big one. We couldn't get it, and
that's a big telephone pole.
That thing is huge.
Yeah,
we didn't realize it was that big till we got it in the ground. And he had it. He goes, "I know how to set these poles. I used to do it." So he had me pick it up with a bucket of the tractor. We had a snatch strap around it, and we had it hooked to the bucket. He was guiding it.
Jesus.
we put the end like at the hole,
Mm-hmm.
and then he had me pick the bucket up and turn the tractor hard to the right and like drive up, so it would like stand it up. We got to a certain point and it wouldn't go anymore. And the tractor, I was like on
Two wheels?
2 or 3 wheels.
Oh, Jesus.
And he's like, "Can you go a little more?" And I'm like, "If I do, it's going to roll this tractor over. We're done. It's going to roll. I don't dare move." And I don't know if I told you about this, but what we did was we got the I had scaffolding set up here because I've been working on the back of the cabin.
Yeah.
I climbed up on that scaffolding. I parked the 300 up.
Jesus.
I ran it up against, or not the 300, that 500 I have, the four-wheeler.
Yeah.
I ran it up against that stump that's right above that where we put the pole in.
Oh, and you put the winch on it.
And then I spooled out the winch, and Joel was up here, and of course he can't get around
But
so
he
well.
just hung on the four-wheeler.
But I had him sit on the four-wheeler and just turn the lever.
Yeah.
But I climbed up on the scaffolding and I put that winches because we couldn't get it. We were stuck. I'm like, I don't know what to,
Right.
So we hooked on with that winch on that 500.
Yeah.
And gosh darn if we didn't winch that thing up the rest of the way. And then I was able to get on the tractor. And when it started to go, I pushed it and we dropped that thing in there.
Nice.
And now we're looking at it, and Nail's like, you could put a climber on that and hunt out of that on the top of it.
I know. You could.
It's like a 30-foot telephone
I
pole.
know.
We're
That's
like,
legit.
he's like, we probably should have cut that in half.
Yeah, you don't need it that tall, but
No.
it looks like it's supposed to be there. Nice job.
He did a good job. That thing's straight as an arrow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how much it seemed like it took you forever to get the barn strategy put together. I mean, it was almost, year and a half, 2 years, just seemed like you were talking about it.
Yeah.
But like, my God, since, this spring, the amount that has happened up here
It's unbelievable.
is unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, the barn, just adding that is a huge upgrade to the camp.
Yep.
Having a barn that's dry and clean. And
right. There's not
like,
critters running all through it.
Like tight. So it's a gorgeous barn. It's awesome. And then, you come up here and the work you've done over the last 3 weeks up here at the cabin.
Yeah.
Redoing the bunk room. It's a hunting camp.
Yeah.
And it's always been a hunting camp. But like what you just did with that back room, it's hilarious because it's totally changed. Like everybody's opinions. The kids didn't even want to sleep in the back room with the way it was.
Yeah.
Because we had carpenter ant issue and it was just dark and
it just
was,
felt like
the floor was you had tried to put a floating
I put a wood laminate floor in
Yeah.
there, and obviously I didn't allow enough space because the thing, the
it like
thing
jammed up and
it's not heated year round,
Right.
so
so it was fine. Like it was fine for us.
Bill Dan comes running in. He's like, "Grandpa," and I pick him up, and he gives me a hug. He's like, "You made the cabin like brand
I
new."
know.
He goes,
Yeah, him and Jake were both when we went to go in there to go to bed. They like couldn't get over how clean the floor was in there. It was just it's cute.
So
it's good stuff.
that I get everything done, and my plan was the very last thing I would do is tear up that wood laminate floor, right? Which, by the way, shout out to Corey Figueredo, Future Forest Consultants, for allowing me to put that in his dumpster today. So
Could have burned it.
yeah. So, but Billy, last year that ant problem I had, and then I had the exterminators come in and take care of it, which is why, I was going to do it either way because I was sick of the ceiling that was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like dark, dirty, dingy. I just like, oh.
It had like a drop ceiling, kind of. It was like
yeah, it was like a fiber board or
yeah.
something. So, but anyways, we had that ant problem. So when I gutted the ceiling and tore that all down, I'm like, I'm just gonna completely. I pulled out the insulation, everything. I'm starting fresh. And but when the last thing I was gonna do was tear up the floor and then paint the floor. And I tore that floor up, and God, you wouldn't believe the amount of like sawdust or wood
really?
and ants, dead ants under that floor. Like a 1/4 inch thick.
What?
Yeah.
Lucky they didn't get into the floor.
Yeah. And
Holy
there's no
shit.
damage to the floor, but they were like dragging. I mean, the sawdust. I mean, there was a lot of sawdust back there
Wow.
when they.
Did you take any pictures?
Yes, of the sawdust that was under that floor I took
Yeah.
up. I went and got the KN95 mask and put it on, and
shit. Yeah.
and but I wore that while I tore up that floor and then vacuumed it up. But you know what? Thank God, it just feels like clean.
Yeah.
and it's a game changer. And I really want, like, the grandkids and your wives, like, I want you guys to be able to feel like this is a nice place you can go during the summer or over the winter and do an overnight. And
for sure.
So
I want to
really
do that
trying
too.
to step up the game here a little bit,
Yeah, I mean it's awesome.
So this is, I mean, as hard as I've worked all year on everything, I did the barn, and then I cut all them logs. I had like, I don't know, probably 70 logs that I cut into lumber.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was working on the electric line. I pulled a new electric line. Mike and Luke Bean pulled the line, and then you and I did some work straightening it out. But Al and I got it, started putting it up and put the telephone poles in.
Oh, but you haven't put anything up into the trees yet, though.
Well, you see where it's tied up there.
Yeah, but you haven't done anything since you and
we didn't have the right preforms that hold it up in there. So we haven't done anything, since last week when you helped me for that day.
Yeah.
But then I had to shift gears and get on the camp because I knew we wanted to use it for this season, and hunting season's coming quick, and I'm like, all right, I got to wrap this up. So it feels so good to sit here now in front of the fire, sipping a drink. Cabin's open, camp's open,
Yeah,
Jonesy and his boys just left. We had the kids up here. And if nothing else, this weekend to me, it's not really about, like, getting a kill on the does. If we did, fine. But it's really nice to have all the kids up here.
Yeah.
Exposing the kids to the camp. And,
Right.
and so that's awesome.
Yeah, it's baby steps, and we'll have our time will come, later in the – this is not going to be an every weekend thing.
No.
But, taking advantage of these nice times of year when the kids can go up here and run around the yard, and it's great. It's good stuff.
Al and I,
our priorities have changed.
We'll come up this week and put the smackdown on some does.
There you go.
Him and I are planning on we want to kill an early season doe.
Yeah.
and
then
then I can put that behind me.
Yeah.
And just focus on buck hunting, because I really want to shoot a buck and 2 does. No, 2 bucks and a doe.
Yeah. And
last year I told Mike, judging from the trail camera footage and the monitoring we do on the food plots, I'm like, we got to take.
We need
2 to 4 does got to come out of here.
We need to try to stay on a consistent pattern here, because the bucks, you're not killing resident bucks. The bucks don't. There's very few bucks that live right here.
Yeah,
like they live up on the hill. They live, but they're not like the does are. And
they live here.
It's amazing. I was talking to one of the guys at work, young guy at work, Zach, the other day, and it's amazing how much. And it's been the benefit of podcasts in general, but doing this podcast, just all the guests, all the people we talk to, how much I've learned.
Yeah.
Like the things that, like, if you just hunt the same property and hunt the same way at the same tree stands with the same people, you just don't really learn. You're not thinking outside the box.
Yeah,
you're not.
Yeah.
So
that's what I like about some of our public land hunts where you get out and go
walk around,
learn some new turf, and you got to read the ground. And we all know, right? You hunt topography and terrain features, but when you actually get out and do it on new ground, if you will,
it helps you see things on your own property that you hunt all the time. That's why I told Zach, and this is, I think whether you're a new hunter or somebody that's just never thought about things this way. Like, I was looking at his property with him on Onyx, and I'm like, where are the deer feed and where do they sleep? Where do they bed? He's like, we're not really sure. I'm like, well, that's like the number one. You got to figure that out.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like you are in the biggest block of woods in this entire area.
Yeah.
You're skinny, long piece of property. So the deer are moving through here. They're not probably feeding here. So I'm like, you got to figure that out. I was like, go in there this weekend and turn your tracker on and walk game trails.
Yeah.
And record where the trails are, and then go home, pull it up on the computer, and just try to make sense of it all.
Right.
And like, that's something that I'm sure I heard somebody say something about that on a podcast one day or YouTube video, and like, it's just like opened my eyes to everything.
Yeah.
So now it's like, figure out, if you're going to hunt anywhere, figure out where the deer are moving, figure out why they're moving there,
how they move there,
and then just hunt it.
Yeah.
It's really, and like, that's where this is really starting to get fun. Like, because now you feel like once you start to pick apart some areas, you don't really have to hunt that hard. You just have to hunt it the right way at the right time.
At the right time, yeah. Look at your spot over there at the
Right.
at the state land, you
Right.
know.
And I wanna
opening
try-
morning, you know. I mean, I think you won last year. You won first buck down and biggest buck.
I've won that a couple years with deer
Yeah.
shot over there.
Yeah.
Once in that deer in 2020, and then that bucklet. That deer in 2020.
Yep.
And then the deer last year were first buck and biggest buck.
Yep.
But I'm gonna try a different spot this year. I went in there this week and had like 45 minutes to go down in this area and check it out. It's in the same general area, just a different piece, similar topography, and I want to just try it out.
So why don't you explain to us what drew you to that spot?
Well, I scouted it a couple years ago during the winter. Never been in there. Never ventured. I ventured another piece of it. It's a big piece that's kind of like broken up, and I had spent quite a bit of time, maybe back in 18, 19.
Were you further south?
Yeah,
on that
in that piece that's further south.
Okay.
And it's a little bit easier access.
Yeah.
So I've wandered around there when I first started hunting public quite a bit. I was really interested in that area, and I only hunted it like once, but I did a lot of scouting there.
Okay.
And then maybe like
what time of year were you scouting that?
During deer season.
Okay.
It was like, it might have been pre-kids. Maybe it was 17. I don't know. I want to say it might have been pre-kids or maybe just Billy.
Yeah.
Because Billy was born in 18. But then like 2 winters, maybe, so let's call it like the winter of 21, I put some trail cameras down in there. There was a real heavy acorn, so it must have been 21 because it was right before the gypsy moths just decimated us down here.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
So it might have even have been 20.
Yeah.
So I put some trail cameras down in there after this. It was literally right after season, right around the first of the year, and left them, and came back in and got them. And I was hitting it, every few weeks. I would wander around in there and just checking out deer trails with snow on the ground. But the acorns were super heavy, and there was a lot of good deer activity that I was getting in these pictures. But
what's it, mostly red oak in there?
Yeah, I would assume. I'm not. I'd have to look at. I wouldn't know one if I saw them. I just know an
between
acorn.
the red and the white.
Yeah,
it's predominantly red, probably on that ridge.
Yeah,
yeah.
I should look into it, but anyway, the topography from the spot that I found, and I've hunted now the last 4 or 5 years and had success. Just looking at how I had success there, and that spot is not a spot that I will hunt. I've hunted it on non-opening day.
Yeah,
days.
just a regular day.
It is,
season.
And that's kind of what I'm having some fun with. Is like here, it's opening day. We don't have a ton of success, hit or miss. Like you had a great hunt a couple of years ago because there was a hot doe, and you had a great hunt. Yeah. But for the most part, there's typically not a ton of movement. The deer get shocked with everybody in the woods, and everybody sits in the stand, and there's really not much going on.
Right.
So going over there, I found that I really have a great time hunting opening day of gun season in an area with high hunter traffic, and I've tried to identify where there's a high pressure like funnel, essentially, where all the hunters are coming and pushing the deer to one area that the deer know that they can escape and be safe and get away from pressure and almost just be completely.
Well, you're kind of on an escape route there, aren't you?
Well, that's what it is. And I discovered that just from walking deer trails and this and that, whatever.
Well, and you and I were in there
in the winter.
Was it like February one year?
Yeah, we were snowshoeing.
We went like 7 miles up there.
Yeah. What was that? That was your phone. You just got to put your phone on silence.
Okay.
And then it won't
I was like,
blow it. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Hang on.
That's obnoxious.
It's update on the Braves game. We're tied 1-1.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh, my God.
But we found
that was I got really excited when we found that spot. Like we went through, I'm trying to think if we went there first or on the way back. No, we went the other way, and we went way back south, and then we went up on the ridge, and we came back, and we
Looped all the way
finished
around.
there. And there was historic hunter sign there.
Yeah, there was an old
There was a couple
wooden-
different spots where like different tree stands. Like there was one where like old remnants of a hanging stand, and there was an old wooden stand. And I told Billy, I go, over the years, guys, like this is a spot. And then we got looking at it, we're like, oh my God, this is an escape route.
And I found a spot that I could stand that I would be completely invisible to a deer from any direction.
Yeah.
You know, from below me, above me, they would never see me. They wouldn't smell me because the thermals, like it's just this like bulletproof spot.
Yeah,
But
a
it's
good
and
spot.
I've sat there on days that are not opening day and I don't see anything.
Right.
So it's like
it's pressure related.
It's pressure related. That spot is 100. That buck I shot last year, when I finished him, and I'm sitting there with him. 5 minutes later, right up behind where he came from, here comes a hunter.
Really?
So, yeah. I don't know if I ever told you that.
It wasn't Butch, was
No,
it?
it was not.
Then one year
a couple
you ran
years
into
ago,
Butch up
couple
there.
years, the 2 years before that, when I shot the 2 does,
Yeah.
in that spot, he came up with his son. But anyway, so I kind of feel like I love the challenge, and I feel not that you ever have like completely. I could go back there again and have, another great hunt.
Right.
But it's like I kind of want to like see, can I do it in a
Somewhere
similar
else.
spot to that? Can I do it? Can I cookie cutter it?
Yeah.
So I this spot over there just sticks out to me, and I've always driven by that area going home from camp, and
I do
it's like
too.
it can be a cold frosty morning and with no snow on the ground, but the way that it's a deep ravine and there's a creek that runs down through that ravine, and it's always like frozen over, and like it's just like looks gnarly.
gnarly.
Yeah.
It looks like dark, gnarly, steep, rugged.
Yeah.
And then there's a bench.
There's a bench.
Yeah.
And
it's
the
like-
bench is very
And I've been looking,
Yeah.
and it was funny because the other day I was driving home and I'm like looking over there and I'm like, I got to go over on that bench this year.
But
And
the
then I
thing
talked
that-
to you and you were on that bench probably
yeah,
at the time that
evening,
day.
that
Yeah.
afternoon it was.
Yeah.
And the thing about these spots is that for anyone who's hunting the public with just straight up public access, these are they're difficult spots to get into. It's going to take you time,
Right.
and it's going to take you effort. And then if you want to shoot something,
Oh, you're not like
it's going to be effort to get it out of there.
yeah.
So that's kind of where my mind's at, is I want to find these spots where this particular spot I feel like it can give me all of the same things as the other one, with the pressure coming from private property around. So we'll see. But I ran down in there the other day, and it is just so gratifying when you're scouting for deer and you've looked at something on a map and you've never been there before, and you drop down into a spot or you go into an area and exactly where you expected that there would be deer, there's deer.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I jumped those deer right off the crest of that hill.
That's right. I
And I'm
forgot
just
that
like-
you actually jumped some up out of there.
Yeah. And it's all oaks in there. There's tons of acorns. So we'll see. That's my game plan for opening day this year.
There was
for
a
gun
ton of
season.
acorns in there.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it should be a repeat.
same as it is over here. It's just raining right now, acorns.
The sign that you had, the pictures that you had from when you had that camera in there, whenever that was, 17 or 18. Oh my God!
Yeah. Well, I had that buck that
it
had been shot and had I figure it was a crossbow bolt, and the hair was rubbed right off the side of him. He was perfectly fine. A big, huge
Eaton,
6-pointer.
Yeah, big, he was just doing fine
Yeah.
with the arrow sticking out.
He
of him.
was, he's real thin racked, but he just
Yeah.
like a big frame. He probably was 18, 20 inches wide.
Yeah, that was a
tall
hell of a
6-pointer. It was just cool. So,
But there was a whole group there. They bachelor grouped up, and
Yeah.
So it's that's gonna be exciting to see how
we'll
you do.
see.
But and you and I were talking. It's like, first of all, to get in there, you got 1.5 miles, 2 miles to go to get in there.
Yeah.
And so you're gonna have to start like really early
Yeah.
if you want to be in there and take advantage of hunter pressure, which that's the whole key, right? Get in
Right.
there early. But then the other thing is getting out. Like if you get something,
yeah. Yeah, it's climbing up out of there 1,000 feet instead of dropping down 1,000 feet
right?
like it is at, the other place, you have to walk up 1,000 and then you come down 1,000. But this will be start high,
down 500, up 500.
Yeah, whatever. It's all the adventure, you know. And some, like, I know some of the guys here at camp don't get it, but I love it. I freaking love it.
I'm gonna put another log on the fire while you.
Okay. Yeah. So that's about What am I supposed to talk about by myself? I already did. It's over. Yep. I don't have any archery plans. I already told Jim D what my plans are. No, it's a secret. No, I mean, so out at, I'll probably hunt pretty sparingly throughout archery again, like I have. I don't know.
Pick your days.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff going on at the Kirsch farm. Dallas has done a phenomenal job with the food plots this year. We've got Norwood, who is, a daily frequent flyer on the cameras. So we're going to hunt him intelligently and try to take it easy.
You're going to try and get him early before he takes off for the rut?
Yeah.
Or you're just going to be dependent on conditions?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to hunt wind. We're just going to be smart. And that's the way that Brian and Dallas and I have approached that all together. There's a reason why Norwood is 6, because we haven't pushed him away. If you don't get any buck by the rut, you have no control over when and where he is and what he's going to do. That deer in particular, there's only been a couple times that any of us that have been hunting him in the block have even seen him on the hoof.
You guys have not seen him on the hoof?
No, I mean that deer. I'd seen him the day I shot Chubby 2 years ago. He was with Chubby, and he just didn't come down the food plot with him. I think Brian seen him when he was a 2.5-year-old, maybe, and Nick seen him a couple times when he was young, but nobody's even had an opportunity at him. That in our, between Nick, Brian, and Dallas and myself, Dustin, nobody's had an opportunity at him. So, but we've got, the way that we've got the stand set up, we've got couple new blinds set up that, our game plan is to probably, if we have an opportunity to kill them early, like during archery, we will. Yeah. But I think we're more hoping to just not pressure anything off the property, and which is mainly him.
You got some nice bucks there too. It's other bucks.
It's pretty much it's pretty much just him and the buck that he's been running with, which we don't really have a name for him. We're calling him Buddy, because the two of them just ran together all summer.
Are they the two that you had with that sunset photo? Yeah. Oh my God, that picture! You should send that in somewhere. That thing was
that's a cool picture. But they've now split up. The Velvet came off, and now they're
enemies.
Yeah, you don't see
no
them.
Longer Buddy.
No, which makes sense. I mean, it's not like you're talking a 2-year-old and a yearling hanging out with a big mature buck. It's like, no.
Yeah, they're two mature bucks. They're going to part ways. They're going to fight, hate each other for the next 3 months.
So we've been seeing more of Buddy than we have of Norwood, but that doesn't mean nothing, It's so we did a ton of work on the north side of the road, like you and Dallas were talking with the login and that this winter, and we're really optimistic about that property over there this year. It's one we maybe had one decent buck we seen on camera that would get you excited, but it doesn't matter. I mean, over there
they're there.
Yeah, and the neighbors, everybody hunts. Deer are going to move around. You get to the rut. We've got tons of deer, does all over the place.
Where'd you put the new Banks blind? Did that go on the north side or
no, south side of the road? We put that right across from Dan and Audrey's, Graham and Kirsch's.
Oh, okay.
Put it over there.
So it's not way out, is it?
No, it's right. It's right out. Right out in the middle of the beans that we planted. That we're gonna actually harvest.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. We did
So it's well south of the Dong.
No, it's north of the Donger. It's in the front of the property.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay.
So Dallas planted. We've got a food plot in front of it that's going to stay. After the beans get harvested, he's gonna drill in cereal rye. So we'll have it's a big, like 5 or 6 acre field. It may even be more than that. It might be 8
So it
acres.
could be a great like late season food source.
Yeah, and we know the deer just love that area. And then we've got corn and beans that will stay standing. That's in they call it the short bouts. So it's a shorter. The field's kind of got because there's a swamp and a pond.
Yeah.
And the field kind of comes up around that. So what Dallas did was he kept the rectangular part that's good contiguous rectangle of the field. He planted actual like for-profit beans, and that's all going to get harvested here in the next few weeks, a month, and then he'll drill that rye in, and but then that whole short bouts is all corn beans, and then he's going to broadcast overseed, some brassicas and stuff.
Nice.
And probably some cereal rye in there as well. So that stuff is coming up in the spring.
Did you guys find a home for all that cereal rye that you had?
We will have a home for it.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You taking a picture?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
You see me? Can you see me over here?
I'm not very good at it. I don't know what finger do I use?
Just touch it. Yep. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's great. Oh.
It's not going.
No, just let it go.
Oh, I'm trying.
Wait.
Whoa.
Oh my God.
Blinding light. There was a lot of seed.
People like this when you stop talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. People. Like
it's good for ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a lot of rye.
We're gonna. That's a shit ton of rye. Yeah. No, we're gonna plant. I mean,
oh my God.
His plan is to put that everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got acres.
And then you're going to terminate it in the spring and go over and with something else. Yeah, yeah. But that's great cover crop, and I didn't realize this, but I learned that that's potassium producing. Just like
not potassium.
Yeah. There's
potassium?
potash. Is it which is K? I don't know. There's one of them. Do you remember? Like the legumes are nitrogen.
Right, nitrogen,
fixing,
potassium.
Phosphorus.
Yeah. NPK.
Yeah. So it's the K. But at any rate, I'm excited because I broadcast a bunch here and it's popping up and the deer are starting to nibble on it. So
good.
So on the Kirsch farm, you got good things going there. Them hardworking son of a bitches down in the Huntworks, they sold you Stump 4, so you're now a proud owner of a Stump for the first time, which is going to be great for you guys. Take your kids out.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. The buck huts have been pretty impressive. They've been out for 2 of them have been out. This is going on their third
year, right?
Fourth year.
Yeah.
4th year, I think. And they're holding up pretty well. I mean, they're a little weathered, but we've been taking the covers down on them, and that.
Oh, you have.
Yeah, we take them off in the spring and put them back up in the fall. Or sorry, put right down after the season's over.
Yeah, yeah.
So that they don't get beat up too bad with the winter and the sun and everything.
Yep.
But
no, that's good. I think that's smart.
Yeah. No, I.
How'd it go putting the stump up? It looks like you guys
easy
did
as hell.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, the skid steer, we were able to get the blind up high enough where we literally just put it up in the air and shove the legs underneath it,
set it down,
and then just put the cross members on.
Sweet.
But when I bought the lumber, I paid for 6 4x4s, but I only picked up 4.
So you didn't have
went
the
around
4x4s for the deck kit?
Right. So I went back and got them. I took my receipt and they gave me the 2, and it's all good. So
good. So that's all set, all ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be.
You put curtain kit on that, or what are you doing?
No, I'm gonna buy the. I'm just gonna get the actual tint kit for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you got the one in here that I grabbed down there at Huntworks the other day.
Nice.
Yeah.
For the Stump 2.
Yeah.
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 So where's you mentioned earlier that AJ and Tard are out west. They're chasing elk or mule deer in Colorado?
They are chasing elk. They both put in for deer tags, and for the first time since we've all been applying, they didn't draw, which is kind of interesting. I don't know what to make of that, but see what the draw results once stuff comes out after the season and see, how many points people had and what the situation was. But we usually have no issue drawing deer tags. But they both just ended up going over the counter elk, and this is the last year that you'll be able to do that.
Archery then?
Yeah. This is the last year you'll be able to do that in Colorado, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think they need to, I think that people will still be able to get an archery tag by the sounds of it fairly easily, but it's a freaking free for all out there.
Yeah.
And it's, now it's one of the only, is one of the only states where you can over the counter and everybody goes there.
Right.
If you didn't get in somewhere else, you're going there, and it's just
that's a fallback.
It's not a great. It's just it makes the hunting experience not that great.
Yeah.
So I don't.
It's okay.
I don't like to see opportunity go away. That is never good. But I also feel like they need to manage the hunting pressure, because what good is it to your hunting experience if you go out there? It's like, yeah, I got a tag. And you go out there and there's freaking people everywhere. It's like, well, what kind of experience is this? It's not a good one. And the animals are freaking running scared. It's just.
Right, because there's so many people.
Yeah, it's just not good. So, and they got a problem in Colorado that they got to balance the recreation too, because.
The recreation is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it many times before, but it's just, you go up in the mountains and you're, 11 miles from a trailhead, and it's freaking daybreak, and it's like, here comes a person trail running, and it's like, what the freak are you doing back here? But it's just, that's the culture there. It's different. So that impacts the deer and elk too. I know that they're used to people being on trails,
but it's constant pressure.
It's just constant. Yeah. So yeah, it's just a different environment. But yeah, so they're out there. I hope they have some success. They were checking out. Sounds like they went into an area yesterday. Yesterday was their first day packing in, and they wanted to hunt. Really, their goal with this trip is obviously to have success, but they wanted to hunt some areas that we've never been, that we've wanted to go.
Oh, okay.
Because now that
I was going to ask you if they went to
your
your usual spot.
They will probably get in there at some point, but where they went is a spot that same general area, but another. It's several miles away, but same general area, and they want to check that out. But yeah, so they're.
Have you heard how that looked? Or no, you haven't heard from them at all.
No, I would assume they don't.
You know who else is headed to Colorado?
Who's that?
Tim and Chris.
I know this.
Right now, like, they're probably, if they're lucky, they're almost at the PA border, westbound.
Yeah.
90.
God, that's a long freaking trip.
Yeah, they're going to drive all night long. They stayed because Chris had a gig with his band this afternoon.
Yeah, the Fuzzy Navels, or what's the name of their band?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
sings oldies and stuff.
Old farts.
Yep. Old farts with guitars.
Yeah.
Should we call them? See how
they're
they're doing?
Sure.
I wonder who's driving. I'll start by calling Chris. Got the Bluetooth on, so it should be. Yep.
Hey, Bill.
Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Hey, you're live on episode 208 of the Pert Near Outdoors podcast with Billy Harvey and Big Willie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hi, Uncle Chris.
Nice to. Hey, Billy, how you doing?
Wonderful. It's great to have you on the program.
Yeah, it's great to be on. I don't know what the reception, but if you want Tim and I both on, you could do the speakerphone through his truck. I'm on my phone right now, unless you want me to put mine on speaker. I don't know if that'll sound good or not.
Just call him on his truck, Dad. If you want to call Tim on his truck.
Yeah, why don't you call us back on the truck, and then you can hear both of us. We can hear you.
You don't have to yell at us.
All right.
Or Tim does it. Or you can just do it with me, really. I'm such a personality.
You do. Yeah, much better than your brother.
Want me to call
I can
Tim?
speak for Tim. There you go. Yeah, give Tim a call, and then
you
can hear both of us.
All right, later. I got to call him. Hang on. Let me try Tim.
It's pretty cool technology.
I'm figuring it out.
We're sitting here by a fire.
I know, talking to guys that are like thousands of miles away, like in Ripley, New York.
Is that where they are?
Yeah. I bet you they are.
Yeah.
Let me see here. All right, we'll see if we can rise him up here.
Ring, ring, ring,
Ring.
on banana phone.
Hello.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, how you doing, Bill?
Good. Hey, is Chris with you?
No. Are you looking for him?
You guys hear me all right?
My phone. Yeah, I can hear you good. Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So, where are you? Are you like in Ripley, New York, or are you into the?
Dad, you don't have to hold your phone to talk to
Oh,
them.
I'm
They
sorry. I
hear
can
you.
just set it down. Okay.
Yes, they can. Jesus.
Billy's very.
where-
He's harsh with me. So,
We're actually in Pennsylvania.
whoa. You know, there's speed limit 65. You know.
Well, 55 right now. We're one of those
Oh, that
weird
section.
sections.
That section
Yeah,
sucks through Erie.
Yeah, I don't know what's up.
You're
I don't know
going.
what their issue is here. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going down along through Erie, and it's slow down in there.
They want you to slow down and drink in the freedom is what they want you to do.
I'll drink, but not the freedom.
Ohio was. I'm trying to think. Where did we really? I think after we got out of Ohio, when we went a couple years ago, Tim, we really we were cruising like 80.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make time really. Ohio, Kansas. If you can stay awake, you can go like hell.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna be easy driving out there because we're excited for the hunt. Coming back will probably be a little more difficult. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the drive homes always seem to take longer.
We actually, I just got off the phone with Brian Davis. He's on his way back from Colorado, and he actually stayed in the same cabin that we're going to and hunted the same area. So
Oh, nice.
He gave us a very good report. They were into elk every single day. We're actually right behind the cabin up on this mountain. There's some benches, and him and his brothers went after him hard. Sometimes, got within 60 yards of a bull.
Wow.
But couldn't get a shot. But they saw a bear. One of the guys had a mountain lion sneak up on them. They saw all sorts
Oh,
of stuff.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's no mountain lions in Colorado.
No.
And you shouldn't be able to hunt them either.
And you should. Yeah, if they are there, you shouldn't hunt them. That's not right.
Cats aren't trophies, you know.
Yeah.
Jesus. Crazy.
Yeah, I was wondering if Davis was out there and if he was going to be able to provide any intel for you. That's pretty cool. That he's ready to, did you turn him on to that place, that little lodge, or that the cabins?
No, Brian and us found it together. Our first year going out here, we actually were going to stay at a campground the first time in 2019, and the campground was closed. And we drove down this big valley, down a dirt road, and we found like a tiny village, and there was an outfitter, and then it said cabins for rent. So we stopped in. It's called Rocky Mountain Lodge, and we actually were able to rent like a little house. I mean, it was like 3 or 4 bedrooms. It was only like $130 a night. It was crazy.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So that's where Brian stayed?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Well, good. So at least they're there. The elk are there, and that's got to be encouraging.
It is. Yeah. And Brian's a pretty good hunter. He said he didn't think that the rut was on yet. He said they would answer some, like a locator bugle in the morning, but he said they really didn't want to play, and they found him in like 3 different locations. But he thinks when we're there, he goes, the cows should be coming in heat. They should really be running hard while we're there.
That'd be awesome.
Good. And you've been practicing on your calls, right?
Oh yeah, for like 3 or 4 months now. Oh my God, yeah.
Can you give us a bugle? You got your bugle call close there? Can you?
Yeah, let me grab my bugle.
Give the bugle.
Yeah, why don't you turn the Bluetooth down a little bit?
I'm
when
gonna
you
turn
don't
it
blow
down.
anybody's
All
drums
right,
out.
All right.
Yeah.
You give it. You just roll that wind.
Let her rip.
I did some going down Shiloh Avenue the other day, coming down, leaving RG&E. The locals were looking like, what?
All right.
Oh.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
God, I'm getting a little worked up here.
Yeah, I need to get up and walk around.
It's tingly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, just gonna start pissing all over everything.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Is it warm yet?
Go outside, start rubbing against the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are outside. We're sitting out here between the cabin and the outhouse enjoying a nice campfire here.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful night. The youngsters are in the cabin sleeping, and Billy and I are out here just doing a little podcast. We were thinking about you guys on your journey off to Colorado, so we thought we'd give a call and see how you're making out.
Yeah.
So what's
so
it?
far so good.
So Chris is using the muzzle loader, right? And Tim's got the bow.
Yeah. Yep.
So Tim is.
So we have options.
Tim's either sex, and Chris, you're bull only, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Very nice.
And Chris, talk a little bit about the bullets that you're shooting. I feel like got to get the word out on those things. Sounds like they're pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. So by Colorado regulations, you have to use a non-saboted slug or bullet, and obviously loose powder, iron sights, all that. So I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of Cody Rich and the Phelps podcast, Cutting the Edge with Jason Phelps. And I can't remember which one, but they had a hunter on there, and he was talking about muzzleloader hunting elk. And he's like, he goes, obviously, I use the Blackhorn 209 powder, but he goes for bullets. I can't remember if the guy's in Utah or Montana. He's a military veteran, and he hand makes these bullets, and it's called No Excuses. So it's No Excuse Bullets. They got a website, but he described exactly the combination, what he uses, and he goes, I use these 460 grain bullets, and he goes, it just puts the elk down. He goes, I only use maybe 60 or 70 grain of black powder, and he goes, they're accurate too. So, and then I went online and I went on a muzzleloader forum, and I saw people saying the same thing. I kept hearing about these No Excuse bullets. So I went to the website and actually emailed the guy, and they have a sizing. For $10 you order like 5 bullets. They're different sizes, and he goes, I recommend you size exactly what you need for your gun, and then you order a box of them. So I think mine was, .503. That ended up fitting the best. So then I ordered a box of them. I got at least 25 bullets, and it was barely $30. It was a great price.
Wow.
Yep. I'm very intrigued by that, and I think that last point is so interesting because everybody goes and just buys boxes of ammo off the shelf.
Yeah.
And especially with muzzleloaders, they can be so finicky.
Yeah.
And especially if you're shooting some of these, and I think it's exacerbated or exaggerated,
yep,
whichever baited you want to use there. Yeah. When, like, if you're shooting a 250 grain bullet, that bullet is just it's not gonna fly as true as a 400 plus grain bullet. So you can get away with a little bit of sloppiness of your barrel. So if you I think it's incredible that you've got a bullet that fits your barrel.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that is precision made like that, not some mass quantity produced bullet that could be, you could have 2 bullets in a package that are different.
Yeah, they
could fly a little different. They could fit your bore a little different. So I'm very intrigued by that. I'm excited.
So Chris, you had a 50 caliber, and what they do? Send you like 5 bullets that are like 5 thousandths off each one or something, or?
Yeah. So I had I had the sizing pack, and I think the first one was .50, and that was .501, .502, .503, and like the first one kind of dropped in, didn't need the ramrod. The next one slid in pretty easy because the guy's like, it's dangerous. If it's too loose, it's very dangerous to shoot.
Right.
He goes, it has to fit right. So I ended up on the bullet that felt normal. I had to push kind of hard with the ramrod because my barrel sucks anyways. Over years of shooting and following, I clean it. But, I know how it feels to push a bullet in there. And I finally reached that one. And then I'm like, well, let me try the next one. Christ, the next one. I barely could get it started, and I just stopped. I go, no, this is too big. That's how I ended up on my size.
Is this the same gun that you had the bullet stuck in that one time?
No, that one's in my basement.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's the one that got stuck. We were hunting opening day of deer muzzleloader at Tim's camp, and I can't remember what happened. It got stuck in there, and then I bent the rod. I couldn't get it out, so I ended up going duck hunting. I brought my shotgun, so I got pissed off and went duck hunting, and then later in the day we came back and ended up shot it. Yeah, we just got it out. We ended up shooting it out.
Yeah, didn't you put it up against the side of the porch and like hid behind the thing and shot?
Yep, exactly what we did.
Yep, touched it off and let whatever will be, right?
Yeah, I think I got a crow with it or something.
Caw!
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it sounds like you got that thing dialed in. And now, how many grains of that 209 are you using?
Well, surprisingly, because I bought a scale, and now we're going down the rabbit hole of weight versus volume. But in a tube, it's 85 grain.
Yeah.
On a scale, it's 60 grain.
Oh, okay.
So it actually weighs 60 grain, but when I pour it in one of those tubes, it reads about 85.
Okay. All right.
And all the online stuff on the internet, people said 80 grain. So I think they're going off volume. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And it shot good. I got it sighted in within 3 shots. I did it real easy at 30 yards, and then moved out and I shot a bullseye at 50, and then surprisingly I shot a bullseye at 100. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Yeah, that was impressive. I could barely see the target at 100. You know, I use the Western sights that has a peep sight, and it's got the multiple sights in front crosshairs you can put in.
Oh, okay. Did you buy are those new sights that you bought for this hunt?
Yeah, I bought them. I think it was called Western Precision Sights, and that's another thing I saw online. And everybody recommended these sights, and it comes with a peep sight, and then the front sight is crosshairs. And there's 5 different styles of crosshairs you can put in. I just put the traditional one. I didn't care like having tick marks for 100 yards or 50 yards.
Right.
But yeah, no, it shot beautiful. And I'm like, good. I was happy with that. Tim and I were shocked, though. I thought I missed the target. Yeah. Then we got closer, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, that's literally within that, what was it, 2-inch circle? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, well, all right, I guess we're done.
Don't mess with that.
Yeah.
You got her.
Yeah.
Well, you're a hell of a shot. You're a hell of a shot anyway. I remember that years ago we were up on the side hill back in the valley, and we were approaching. You were like on the point, what we call the point. You were, yeah, and you're on the logging road at the bottom, and I'm like 2/3 of the way up, working across like mooching deer. And I remember seeing the tracks. I had deer up and running, and also, yeah, and I hear a shot, and then I don't know if we even had a way, or maybe.
I think we had radios then.
Maybe we had a radio, and you called me on the radio and said, hey, can you check? It's a long ways up. So I went over there, and, man, you laced that deer. That was iron sights. It had up that hill probably 150 yards, and you, like yeah, that was good with a shotgun.
That was one of the longest shots I ever made. It's a smoothbore. It's not a rifled slug or rifled barrel. And, back then, that was probably the old-fashioned sluggers you buy at Kmart or Walmart.
Yeah.
And Jimmy was with me, and I was actually kind of bummed out because me and Jimmy were on that road, and you guys were on that side hill forever, and you're radioing all these deer, and we're not seeing shit. And I started getting kind of angry. I'm like, man, I got stuck down here. I'm not going to see a deer.
With this freaking kid.
We came around the point, and I'm like, Jimmy, I see movement. And Jimmy was probably like 8 or 9, 10 years old. So we took a knee, and I could see deer between the trees way up the hill. And then I could just see a doe, and I shot, and it disappeared. And I remember seeing this little tree move back and forth. And I'm like, man, I think it fell. But it was so far away, and I couldn't believe I shot it when Bill found it. It was a hell of a hike to get up there.
Yeah.
That's about as steep as it
gets. I'm surprised you didn't have me gut it and bring it down to you. That was a long ways up there. Oh, God. So Tim, you're out. You got a new bow, right, Tim?
Yeah, I picked up the Bowtech Core SS.
Very
Like
nice.
it a lot. Good. Yeah.
What are you shooting? What are you shooting for broadheads on that?
The same I've been using for several years. A Slick Trick, 100 grain. They're the four blade.
Okay. Yep. That's a.
Because not a lot of people. You don't hear people talk about them much at all. Somebody turned me on to them. They're German, or I think they're German made, but they're. I've never had an issue with them. Like any broadhead, honestly, you hit it in the right spot, it's going to kill them.
Right.
Honestly, but the thing of it is, and I talked to Chris about it. Like I'm shooting new ball, I've got a little different arrow set up, but I'm like, I've never had a difference problem with shooting field tips versus throwing broadheads on.
Yeah.
And like I should double check it for whatever reason to verify it. I put 18 arrows through it with broadheads on it yesterday, messing around like it's spot on. There's literally no difference
Very nice.
at all.
Yep. That's fixed blade broadhead, right?
Yeah, fixed blade. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, the Slick Trick. Oh yeah, the Slick Tricks are. Yeah.
Yep. Very nice. So you've been shooting well. You like the new bow?
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's smooth. It's very smooth breakover. I'm shooting a little less poundage than what I'm used to. Normally I'm shooting 68 or my old bow, 68 to 70 or something. This is probably 61, 62, but it's so damn smooth that it seems to shoot just as fast. And,
Yeah. Good for you.
I mean, it's easier to shoot and it's accurate. I really like the bow. I changed or adjusted the draw length on my own.
Oh, cool.
I shot it, and then after I had it home and shooting a few days, I said, you know what? My draw length isn't. I feel I'm short, so I took it back and had him bring it out a half inch. And I said, then I shot it more as I'm getting settled in, like it's still short. So I said, damn, I'm supposed to be able to. You can paper tune it, time it, and adjust the draw length yourself.
Wow.
It's not that hard. Like I sat down on YouTube just to get a good idea. It was a piece of cake. I just a couple Allen wrenches, and I added lengthened it a half an inch. And it's just pretty nice.
That's
really,
amazing.
I'm comfortable doing that. So
Good for you.
yeah, that's fuck. I've been been shooting the same bow for 12 years, and I'm like, it's I didn't have to buy a new bow, but I wanted to upgrade. I am going elk hunting, and so I got a new bow. Shoot for 12 more years now. So
There you go.
Yeah. That's awesome.
What type of arrows you running?
There's Easton. I can't remember what the hell they are. They're not. I was shooting the Full Metal Jackets, and I got away from those.
Okay.
Shooting a lighter arrow.
The Axis or
maybe
is it the Axis? Micro diameter or no?
No.
Oh, you want fatties? You're shooting fatties.
Are the
what's
old?
your FOC? How focked up are you?
He's shooting aluminums. I bet the XX75.
Yeah, he went back to the old school.
3216.
They got woodland camo on them or what?
I got a deal on it.
Yeah.
My Tiger Stripe camo, my Vietnam camo.
Nice. Bring it back.
Listen,
Hey, that's what.
worked.
That's what they did. We killed a lot of deer with them.
Yeah, you shoot one deer and you got to throw that arrow in the garbage.
But we had one dead deer.
That's right.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I know.
What's your range limit, Tim? What have you set for a limit for yourself in yardage?
Well, I'd say I'm absolutely no problem shooting 40. I shoot 45, but that's probably where I'll keep it.
Yeah.
I was going to push to 50. And honestly, I feel I could shoot 50, but honestly, just the time, getting time in to anything, honestly. I mean, maybe it sounds like a bad excuse, but just to get things set up, it's just life is so busy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm behind on shit, for whitetail hunting and messing with stands and cameras, and I'm just really happy. to shoot, 45 yards. I'm
Yeah.
fully confident. And if I screw it up, it's because I screwed it up, not the bow or the equipment.
If it's farther than that, let Chris shoot it with a muzzleloader.
There you go.
He's good to 100.
Honestly, it's we're talking like he cashed in, 6 years with the points. I want him to shoot something,
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 10 yards, it's especially he's bull only. So, and honestly, to talk about that, like I'm going to shoot whatever legal animal steps out that I have an opportunity.
Yeah.
I'd love to shoot something with horns, but if a cow comes by, shoot a cow, I'm going to shoot it.
Oh, I don't blame you. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't buy a tag to take your bow for a walk, right?
Yeah. You get
Exactly.
you get a lot of meat out of those cows too. I mean, a couple of those cows that those people, other hunters killed in that camp you and I were in a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, they were giant.
Big hams on them.
There's a lot of steaks. That's a big backstrap right there, buddy.
Yeah. That's really looking forward to it. It's, there's that thing you always want to shoot horns, but
Can't eat 'em.
realistically, I've never shot an elk, and it's doing on our own. I'd still be really happy, pleased to get a shot of the cows. So.
Oh, sure. Definitely. We'd be happy for you. I'd be happy to, help you eat some of that,
I was hoping so.
What else you got for us? Let me see. What are you going to drive through? Are you hoping to stop by dinner time tomorrow or?
Yeah, I don't know. Mid-afternoon, late afternoon, whatever.
So you're definitely stopping at Colby though, Colby, Kansas.
Yep. Yeah, I got reservations already. I set them up a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So.
I love Colby. I was telling Billy today I'd go on vacation there just to eat at that Mexican restaurant again.
Yeah, go to the cantina. Yeah, the whole town was there.
That's pretty cool.
That place is awesome.
Yeah, we went there. We went there after the emergency room. That's how we found it. Yeah, Tim cut his finger last time.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was trying to open a bottle of whiskey, and the knife slipped, or scissors, whatever he did, scissors. Yeah, he had a very nasty gash. He had to get stitches, and then I'm like, let's get something to eat. We found this Mexican place like in a strip mall, and it was a great dinner. I think it was like the only real choice other than like roller dogs at a gas station.
No.
Which we know is your speed, but
Yeah, I know.
It was either that or cheese and crackers, right, Tim?
Yeah, there was plenty of that. I thought we'd try to mix it up, but
When you and I,
it was kind of what's that?
yeah, the great meal there though, phenomenal meal, and those margaritas are huge. They come like a quart size.
Yeah, oh, they're awesome. We made sure. I think all the bottles are screw capped now, and they don't have any of that expensive, fancy wax dripped over it.
Yeah, just freaking be careful. You don't need to have that happen again.
Oh, we just crossed into Ohio. Yeah, we're in Ohio now.
Oh, nice. Well, slow it down. They watch. They're strict there on your speed.
was that? I guess I forgot that. What year did you guys go out to Colorado?
22, 2 years ago.
Yeah, me and Tim went 21. Yeah.
Yeah, and was it you guys that ran into Steve Ranella and his crew?
Oh, that was me.
That was Chris and Brian.
Me and Brian in 2019.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we split into two groups, and the second day we were at this area, David and this other guy and my son David were hunting together, or David and Sam and I, and then Brian and his friend and his son Jordan, who unfortunately passed away last year. They were hunting back there, and they came across this little pond, and Steve Ranella and his whole crew were there. You can watch the episode. They don't show meeting Brian, but it's when Steve Ranella and muzzleloader hunted in Colorado at the same time we were there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So an interesting follow-up to that is I was just talking to Brian, and he actually took some of Jordan's ashes back. His first day there last week, they hiked out to that lake where they met Steve Ranella, and he left some of Jordan's ashes there.
Oh,
So, because it was a big deal. Jordan was probably 15 or 16 when we went out there, and he idolized, obviously. I mean, Steve Rennell was a big deal.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
So,
It is.
yeah. But yeah, that was pretty cool that they even ran into him. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. What are the chances?
To run into, somebody like that was crazy. So.
Hey, in that episode, does Rennell connect or no?
No.
No, he actually shot it out, but he wounded it, couldn't find it.
Okay. That
and
happens.
he lost the sights off his gun the first day.
Oh, jeez.
He lost one of the sights off his. He had the same gun I have. It looked like the exact same muzzleloader I have, a Thompson.
Oh, okay.
And he was missing one of the sights, so I don't know how they found him, but he said they went into town, he got another sight, and then they went back out hunting.
Wow. No, that was cool.
Yeah, I guess so this is your third trip out, Chris, right? And then Tim, this is your third?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, this is my third. This is my second trip to this area, but my third time to Colorado.
It's awesome. Happy for you guys. Look at that.
So,
This is freaking
and honestly, this is different than before because before I just got my elk tag. It was just like a fun vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a little bit of practice. I didn't know how to bugle, but I could cow call real good. And then of course I got into some bulls. I got into some satellite bulls where I answered my cow call, and I was up top this mountain. I didn't know what to do next. I didn't know what tactic to use. I didn't know how to bugle. So I swore that would never happen again. So this time, I've spent months every day driving to work. I call. When I drive home, I call. I call with, I got a YouTube video of live out calling for like 9 minutes, and I just try to mimic them. And Tim and I both have been doing this and listening to like every elk hunting podcast I can think of to learn knowledge, tactics. So I feel pretty prepared this time.
So you're serious about it this time?
I'm very serious.
So do you ever listen to the Pert in Your Outdoors podcast? Oh no! Oh no! The way that Ian
that laugh was
that
like, I haven't listened to that in years. That's what he was saying.
Yep. we got to start talking about elk calling, I guess.
Yep.
Good thing is,
no, that's excited. We're pumped for you guys. I can't wait to hear how it goes. And you have what do you got an inReach or something, or how are you going to communicate if need be from out there?
Yeah, actually, there's no cell service in this valley, so I borrowed Billy's inReach, and I've actually downloaded the software on my phone, and I've got it. Basically, it's synced up with my phone now, so I can text message out, which is really nice.
Oh, cool!
So thank you, Billy, for that.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Well, so you're going to have to, send us a text if you get something,
Yeah, definitely. Oh, definitely, for sure.
And then
we're excited.
So from Colby, are you going to go into Denver, or are you going to kind of veer off and head a little bit southwest?
Yeah, no, we're going to head southwest because we're hunting the lower portion of Colorado.
Okay.
So we're going to head southwest and go down south of Colorado Springs, cross through the mountains and go by like Alamoso and stuff, across the plain, and then go into the mountains. So we're going to be only a few miles from New Mexico, and we're like hunting right next to the Continental Divide.
Oh, nice. Are you going to be? Isn't that somewhere in the area where Adam Romanelli is? Is he going to be in that area?
Yeah. No, we're probably going to be. He's up north, but we're probably going to be a couple hours south of him. He's up by Crested Butte.
Yeah. Yep.
So he's kind of in the middle of the state.
Okay. I thought you were in the middle, but you were going to be more south than that. You're like middle south, right? Very south edge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like if anybody listening to your podcast, if they want to look up like the South San Juan Wilderness and the Rio Grande Forest, that's the areas we're hunting in Area 81. So it's right in the middle of the state on the bottom.
I would have to blank all that out. It's a little too much. It's a little too close there.
By the time we release this, they'll have their elk and they'll be headed home.
It'll already be dead.
Yeah, they'll be dead and they're headed home. They'll be on to other hunting grounds. No, that's a good tip. That's a hot tip right
Hot
here.
tip, people.
Hot
Yeah.
tip. No, that's
I
all.
mean, if somebody wants to make the effort, go through all the work, go out there, more power to them, you know?
That's right. That's right. No reason not to share that locale.
Yeah, I don't care.
Well, so you'll stop tomorrow afternoon, do an overnight, and then you'll probably be what, 2 o'clock or so. You get into your camp.
Yeah, it's probably about almost a 7-hour drive from Colby. So if we get on the road by 7 a.m., we should be there by 2 or 3 o'clock, and then we're probably going to go out and do some scouting, possibly even do an evening hunt.
Okay.
Now that we know
Excuse me.
there's some areas very close to the cabin that Brian told us about where there's elk. So we might go out that night and see what we can rustle up.
Sure. Now, what are you hunting into next weekend, or are you going to head home on Saturday, or what?
Yeah, that's the plan is to leave next Saturday. Probably do a morning hunt next Saturday and then get cleaned up and leave Saturday afternoon and kind of drive through the night. Kind of probably do the same thing coming back if we can.
Yeah.
Just find some place to sleep. It's a lot to drive this straight through,
Yeah, we almost made it. Tim and I almost made it back straight through when we went in 22, but we got thinking there was a UFC fight that night, and we're like, it'd be nice to have one more night, and get something to eat. So what did we get? Chicken wings and cheese and crackers, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a Buffalo Wild Wings right down the road, and got the UFC fight. There was, I don't know, 7 hours left, but it's like, no, we're still on vacation.
I know. I said, we can push through and make it home. And he goes, no, this vacation goes till tomorrow. We got our wings and got back to the hotel room. We were going to eat them back there and watch the fight. And freaking forgot your blue cheese, didn't they, Tim?
Yeah, I had to go back and get blue cheese.
Like you called them up, said, I'm coming back. Get blue cheese ready for me. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
so
dick me around.
That was a great trip.
Yeah, it was.
Well, hey,
it was always a good trip,
What's that?
I say they're always a good trip. Sometimes the road gets, long, you get tired, but it's always a good time, a lot of good conversation, and it's a journey. It's all part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's awesome. And it's like NYSEG's going to, do you have a hotline to NYSEG while you're gone? Because you're kind of big stuff over there, aren't you? The utility?
I checked out as of, I don't know, my auto reply emails are on now. I am done, and my phone is on, but I got somebody else in charge. I don't want to know anything about gas operations right now.
I know. I remember when we were in, I don't know, we're on our way out there. We're in, I don't know, Kansas or just coming into Colorado, and you had issues. You were on the phone trying to sort them out, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah, that was actually, I remember climbing into your truck. I was stressed out leaving, like I shouldn't even be going.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I took this position, and I had nobody backfilled in my old position, so I was actually trying to do 2 jobs. And
well,
it could be that stressful, but it does get that way.
Yeah, I'm glad you're in a better spot this time. You can kind of check out and leave it to your people. You got people now, so.
Yeah.
I have people, yes, yeah. Let them do it. Yep.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Well,
keep selling that gas. Keep drilling them wells. All about it.
That's right. Yep. Blue flame, man. There's money.
Blue
That's
flame.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, if you guys connect, you're going to have to shoot us a message or something, and maybe we do a check-in with you on your way back, and hopefully it's a happy, celebratory conversation.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely will. Hopefully, keep your fingers crossed for a text or a phone call.
Oh yeah. Send
Okay.
pics. You got anything else, Billy?
No, it's been a real pleasure.
All right. You guys drive safe. Stay awake. All right.
Yeah, we'll do. We're stacked full of Celsius and Monsters, so.
Just don't overthink it. Just aim in the middle and let it rip.
Yeah, let her eat.
Yep.
That's right.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Just keep feeding them.
Feed them.
All right. See you guys.
All right,
Good luck.
All right.
Good luck.
Yeah.
See ya.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
All right. What else you got for us, Willie? Anything, or should we call it a wrap?
Nah. I think as we go into this deer season, I think people need to just start filling their freezer. There's too much
emphasis.
Too much tiptoeing around, strategy. Let's just go out and kill a deer.
Go out and kill. It's not hard.
Fill the freezer.
Yeah.
Quit thinking about it.
Last year we were down at NDA branch there, Upper Genesee, and Kip Adams was there from the NDA. He was doing a presentation.
Oh yeah, you like to talk about Kip.
Yeah, Kip. So, anyways, but he was saying, remember he did a show of hands. How many people here killed at least one deer? How many people killed more than two deer or more? And then, but like everybody in the room had harvested at least a deer, but most of the people had harvested 2, 3, 4 deer. And we take that for granted. Like there's a lot of people that don't connect and harvest them, but that's what it's all about, right? Is just putting some meat in the freezer and shooting the deer. Like I think Al shot 6 or 7 last year.
Well, so much of this space, the hunting space, is just so commercialized, and we all fall into it. But it's like I spent how many years obsessing over shooting a big buck, and how many big bucks did I shoot? None. Like I would shoot, I got a few decent
you got some
2-year-olds,
nice
but like until you learn how to hunt and learn how to kill,
right.
If all you're doing is just tiptoeing around trying to, shoot the big one and you pass all these deer, you don't know how to kill deer.
Right. You don't know how to
get
it done.
And you don't know what's going on. Like I think my cup is about full of all the strategy and all the planning and all, like, there's a lot that goes into that. But then at the end of the day, like, you just need to go hunt.
Right.
And, like, don't hunt every day just because you can. Go hunt when the weather's right. Go hunt when the wind's right. Go hunt when your home life is right. Like, don't burn every single bridge. Because since I had kids, really, I look at my best hunting years, it's been since I had kids.
Yeah, and you have
the
very
one common
little time.
denominator is I'm not hunting as much.
Right.
So when I go, I am going with a purpose.
Right.
Instead of just like, oh, it's the weekend, I'm going to camp and I'm going to hunt Friday night, Saturday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, go home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have that anymore. So now, and that's most people.
Right.
Most people don't have that much time, whether it's because of work or because of family, whatever. So it's like, like if it's opening day of gun season, go hunt an area where there's going to be hunting pressure so you can have the best opportunity possible. It's like, it's just, that's the big thing. I joke, Jim D and I talk on the phone all the time while we're driving, and I'm driving while I'm working, and I get all fired up about this because I just feel like there's so many podcasts out there of people that are just, everything's just strategy, and they have people on, and it just sounds all so complicated.
Right. I've noticed that. A lot of them, it's like it's not.
Yeah.
Like I said a minute ago, it's not that hard.
There's a lot of things to learn.
Yes.
But if you sit there and you're like trying to figure out the freaking world's problems, looking at some satellite image, it's like, just go.
Right.
Like, but go with purpose and don't, and if you don't have time, maybe you can. Like, I have found so much success in the way that my job is. I travel, so I can pick and choose where I end up and where I go. But I have done more off-season scouting, like on a weekday afternoon when I've got 30 minutes, like that run I did the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't do that in camouflage and hunting boots. I had my trail running shoes, shorts, and a T-shirt on.
And you had to be moving because you went hauling 3.5 miles.
But I saw what I needed to see, and I went. It's like you can get a lot accomplished, multi-purpose, and get it done. So I want to see people have success, and there's a lot
have fun.
Yeah, and I hope that Rob Bueno, I hope Bono, Rob B, Fat Rob, whatever we want to call him. I just hope that
don't
this
call
year.
Him Fat Rob, that's not nice.
He's not that fat anymore.
No, he got in shape, man.
Yeah, but ever since I started calling him fat, he got in shape. So I think you need to keep people. Same thing with Jim D. I started picking on Jim.
Yeah.
Then he dropped like he's a whole different person. Yeah. He looks like, the guy's just he's phenomenal.
He's stunning. Really.
He's a stud.
He's a handsome devil.
Yeah, I don't know how his wife keeps her hands off him. I really don't. If I was into that sort of stuff, I'd be, guy his stature. Anyway, this is going down the wrong path.
Yeah, we're going down the wrong rabbit hole.
Point being, I just want to see people like Rob, who's a new hunter.
Yeah.
I want to see him get out there and just start freaking feeding him. You know, start filling the freezer. His wife will love him more because he's providing meats.
Yep.
It's important stuff.
It is important stuff.
So that's what I want this podcast to focus on.
Yep.
Trying to give you some direction.
I learned something from Jimmy D and Jeremy the other day on their podcast. Jimmy said that he's writing down all the dates because half the battles like
oh yeah,
we
him
make
and I talk about that. That's not an original Jim D idea. Don't give him too much credit. We talk about this. Yeah. I think I may have told him about that.
All right. Well, whatever. I've been married 40 years and I have not.
Are you serious?
I have not done a good job with that.
Oh no,
not at all.
I did that for Sarah. Because last year,
your mother would be like, what do you mean you're going to camp tonight? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gone all weekend. Well, could you have told me? So I'm like, I took note of that, and I'm like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to chart out our PA trip, our opening day trips up here. All the trips, everything I got going.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that together this week and give her a schedule.
You serve her that schedule, Willie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because sometimes I honestly think that she doesn't mind so much that I go, but she just would have liked to know I was going.
Yes, that's everything. You haven't figured that shit out yet? That's freaking marriage 101.
I've been married 40 years.
I get pissed at my wife when she's like, oh, hey, can I golf tonight? It's like you couldn't have fucking told me that you wanted to golf.
Yeah, 2 days ago?
Yeah, because you knew you wanted to.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, what he said, it seems so simple, but most people don't take the time to do it.
No.
If you can have your home life in order,
yes.
How many? I mean, with past relationships pre-Sarah, I'm sitting in the woods, my phone's just blowing up because the girl's just texting you because she's pissed off or she wants your attention, whatever. It's like now you should be able to go to the woods in peace and focus and get done what you need to get done so you can get home to your wife.
Right.
That's the whole point. Like, I think there's a lot of people that go to get away. Like I love my wife. I love my kids and my family. I want to be with them. But when I go to do something like this, like I want to be here, but I want to be here to get done what I want to get done. It's not just to screw around.
Right.
I like that. That's my approach at this,
Yeah.
It's like that's where like when we hunt as a group, like we are on a mission. Like we are here to kill deer.
I know.
And
like when we go to PA, it's like you have a job to do.
You have a freaking job.
It's like
to do.
paramilitary, for God's sakes.
Well, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of effort. If we wanted to just tell our wives we were going hunting and we were going to
go diddle fart around and play cards
and drink beer and like we've done that. I'm not saying I haven't done that, but like I have way more fun now.
Yeah.
Having success, we can still have our fun, but we have our success because we know what we're doing. Yeah, it's good stuff.
All right, hey, welcome to 2024 deer season.
And I'm going to challenge you that you need to involve me more in this program.
Okay.
Okay.
Would you like to be on more?
I would like to be on the podcast more often.
Maybe I'll get you some gear and you can do a podcast when you.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
It was great having you on here.
No, we just need to. We need to utilize the technology. I am driving around all the time. I was thinking about this the other day. Let's set a weekly hour block, in the afternoons or something.
When you're driving back
and
home.
then if that time doesn't work that week, we'll slide it somewhere else, and we can. And then we can do this. And if you want to do a podcast, we can call in, have an interview, check on with the other guys. How's their season going? Whatever.
Yeah.
Think we could easily do that. I just feel like you've tried to exclude me from this and you've pushed me away.
Well, I have. I think I've done a pretty good job.
You've done a phenomenal job.
Yeah. So
I mean,
now I feel like you're trying to like move back in on my little platform I got here.
Yeah, because I don't know if I like the direction that you've taken things.
All right. Well,
you've had some good ones, and then you've had some other ones where it's like,
shoot me an email.
It's like, would you stop talking and let the guests say something?
I can't help it. I get very excited.
You do get excited. Dallas is saying it's funny because you and Jimmy are the same.
I was just gonna say, I'm just like Jimmy.
When Jimmy was doing
he did the rut radio,
Breeding radios, like he just wouldn't shut up. He'd be telling stories about some deer he shot.
He's like, that reminds me. Let me tell you this
Yeah.
story about a buck I shot
It's
one
like,
time.
Jesus, that's not the point of this show.
But
you
it
know?
was funny though.
It is
It was
funny.
good.
And
It was
anybody
good. It
who
was good
cares
stuff.
to listen probably enjoys it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
All right. Well, hey,
Okay.
time to pack it in. We got to get up early in the morning and
Yeah, my
hunt-
watch tells
hunt
me I should be
squirrels
sleeping.
or deer or something. Or maybe we'll just have a cup of coffee and
Maybe we'll
put our
just
feet up.
The kids will crawl around in the dirt and play
Yeah,
army.
play
man. I don't
army
know.
in the morning.
Whatever.
All right.
'Kay.
Until then, good luck to everybody that's out doe hunting over the next week or 10 days in those areas that are open, and have fun. As Billy said, keep your priorities straight, fill the freezer,
Freaking fill the
get
freezer.
the job done, tell your wife where you're going to be.
Yeah, and if you whack one, two things.
Okay.
Well, one thing. I have been so impressed with the quality of that product that I've been getting from Log City Meats.
Yep.
And
bologna is killer.
Dude, anybody needs venison processed into finished whatever.
Snack sticks, hot dogs.
Pricing's amazing.
Summer sausage.
Speed of return's amazing. I took them stuff at a busy time of year last year, and they 2 weeks back. So just it's in Dundee.
So
I
it's
know
off
we
the
got
beaten
people all
path.
over the
Yeah.
place, but like it's worth the drive. I'm telling you. Like I was talking to somebody, that customer of mine the other day. He was telling me that he took some meat to a place in Rochester, and his bill was like $700. And I'm like, Jesus. I'm like, I got
You got a
double.
lot of
I got
product.
double the product that you did for like $240.
Yeah, it's
you know?
unbelievable. And it's
So,
delish.
That's all I gotta say.
So Al and I were like the does we're going to shoot this week. Our plan is to take them over there and make some bologna and stuff out of them.
That's a good idea.
You know, that would be our processed meat, and then we get in early. So
If you take a trip, let me know, because I got like 3 more bags of burger in my freezer that need to be.
Roger that.
Be.
Hopefully we'll be making a trip. Oh, did I tell you we're going to PA on Wednesday?
No.
Al and I were going down to Chestnut Hill Whitetails.
Oh.
The Sergey Swanson. So we're going to go down, tour his place in Bradford, PA, and
Cool.
have lunch with him and maybe do a little podcast, check in on how he's going with his
You didn't
first
invite
year.
me, so I.
Well,
I
you
wouldn't
were
have known.
tied up. It's out of state. You got to stay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
out of your AOR.
My ankle.
Al and
my
I will
ankle
handle
bracelet
that.
would go off.
Yeah,
They
with
would
the
know.
GPS and everything.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
all right. Hey, keep feeding them.
Feed them.
All right. Thanks for joining, everybody.
See ya.